What's good, y'all? It's your Girl Sweet Dee, and I'm back with another video. I know it's been a minute, so finally we're here and we're bringing the video. So today I have a special guest of mine here, my bestie, my sis, my queen. I got Faith in the building. Girl, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, Faith here, Donnie's best friend, and obviously the love of her life.
Obviously.
So I was just going to talk to you guys about a few things, and I hope it helps you guys. Yeah.
So today we will be addressing some questions that are asked pertaining to Christianity. So obviously it's not provoking. We're not trying to manipulate anybody into anything. So it's just like for those that have questions pertaining to like their faith, how they want to move forward, and like those that don't have somebody to actually talk to them in their language, because we know grown-ups speak in grown-up language and youth people speak in youth language. So we will be answering those questions by using AI's questions also, because as you know, AI takes most of, I think, what do they call, a summary of questions, which are the top that are asked. So we'll be using those questions and we will be answering them with Bible references and our own personal principles and thoughts and how we see, and we'll try to make it make sense in our way. And if y'all have any questions that you guys would want us to address, comment down below with where you're from, what's your name, and we will give you guys a shout out. And if you want a part 2 of this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new to my channel, I welcome you. As I said, I'm your Girl Sweet Dee, and this is my friend Faith. Probably you guys will be seeing her more often in my videos. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so we'll start with the first one,
Which is, how can you believe in a God you can't see? Okay. Before we go into Bible references, I personally believe that if you can't see something and you believe in it, then it definitely has to say, everything has a beginning. So my beginning is believing in something that I can't see. However, I do know that the Spirit of God is always with me, even beside me, even though I don't see it. But now let's go to the Bible references. So we're going to read from Romans 1, verse 20. It says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen." So as you can see, the earth is made by Him from the beginning, from day 1 to day 7. He took His time, right? It being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. So you're having excuses because you can't see God, you can't be a Christian, how do you believe in something you can't see? The Bible answers it in Romans 1 verse 20.
So on my take on it, I remember when I was doing the research for this question came up, and one response I did get is like an explanation. So as some of y'all do know about the Big Bang, right? The Big Bang theory has its whole theory about the earth was created when a cosmic and something clashed, and then we just appeared, right? But then at the end of the day, the question still remains: who caused it? Who caused the clash? What caused the clash? And in order for
how do people form from,
like, literally, how do you form a clash, and how do people form from clashes? And on top of it, the environment, like the whole space, like who created that? You know, because like we said, spaces are like literally so big, we don't even know where it starts and where it ends from. So it's like, in order for that clash to happen, space was already supposed to be there in it, but space wasn't, because there was no proof of it. So as for me, my take would be, why I believe in a God that I can't see. Well, for me, it's like,
wonders He's been there.
Like, He literally been there, because like some of us, we don't even understand how we were formed. Because okay, I know there's certain theories which states that we were formed from the time of monkeys and became human. But then at the end of the day, it's like, for me, I believe in a God that created this whole world, because no man can create a mountain. No man can create the huge ocean that's there. No man can create the earth. If a man created earth, like literally, how did man have to like create themselves more small to be like in the earth? I know what I'm saying probably sounds dumb, But like think about it, because I remember there was this time when they said they were giants. We ain't seen no giants since like we were born. We only heard they were giants. And some of y'all also say ghosts aren't real, but then you believe that they are ghosts. So why can't you believe in the God that created you, that created the earth you live in, that provides your daily bread every day? And even though you got, like, I know there's certain people that reach to the point where they're going to be like, I'm so tired of life. I'll be like, if there's anybody there out there that can hear me, meaning you have it in your conscience, you know that there is somebody there, but you just don't want to accept the name that was given to the person. So I know that God is referred to in different names in different religions, and it gets to the point where it's like you don't know which one to choose. You don't know which name to call. You do not know how to pray, because obviously every religion has their ways of praying, but then it's like you also in confusion. So for me, I believe in a God because He created me. He makes me see the light of day every single day. Like when I go to sleep, I don't know what happens afterwards.
Also, if you do come to think of it, those that say they don't believe in God, they believe in something.
Yeah, you guys literally believe in something.
They believe in the conspiracy theory.
Yep, the conspiracy theory. And it hasn't been proven either. I know that sometimes people can say we also can't prove that God exists.
But we know that God
exists. But we know He exists.
So,
yeah. We literally
good.
Yeah. Is there anything else you need to tell me?
No, I think for question 1, I think we have.
Yeah.
For question 2, let's answer question 2.
Okay, so we're doing question 2 now. It says, why is there so much suffering and evil in the world if God is loving and powerful? So,
He has given us a chance in the Bible, right? He has given us a chance.
Literally.
If you've heard Sodom and Gomorrah,
yeah,
we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah times. He destroy what needs to be destroyed, and He will keep what needs to be kept.
Yeah.
So,
the Bible references says,
God is our refuge and strength, and ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way to the mountains, fall into the heart of the sea. Psalms 46, verse 1 to 2.
So basically, what that verse says. So the part which like caught me right now is like that part which is the mountain going into the sea. That has a very deep meaning. But what I can say on that is, you know how every person has good and evil within them. God gave us free will to choose whether we want to so sorry about that, guys. We still at campus, so we have school duties also to follow. So on my perspective, when it comes to why is there evil going on in the world and suffering allowed, why does God allow it? At the end of the day, it's free will, because God doesn't tell you smoke, God doesn't tell you go drink.
But also, have you heard the question that we get asked the most? Why do good things happen to you? Why do bad things happen to good people? The reason being is God just wants to test us to see whether the bad thing has happened. Are we going to stick to our faith? Are we going to give up? Are we going to look up to Him? Yeah. So it's not necessarily because we're good and something evil had to happen, but it's a test of faith to see whether we're going to believe in Him or not. Some people do lose their faith when something bad happens to them, and some gain even more strength and they gain even more belief in God. So,
yeah. So the issues and troubles that you go through aren't always as bad as you see, because at the same time it makes you stronger. Because like if you have gone through poverty, like for example, you go through poverty, you've seen the struggle, you've seen the pain that goes into that, and you know like the pain of sleeping hungry. Once you get to the point where God opens the door for you and it's like you can get a job, you already know you don't want to go back there because you've experienced, and you won't be able to treat anybody that is in that situation badly because you know the situation that person has been in. Do you know certain people who have been born in privileges, they sometimes are very selfish, self-centered, and they don't always have compassion for people. Like And why certain things happen to them is because of those characteristics that I just named. Because think about it, you basically living in this earth without no care or love for, or compassion for anybody in this earth, because you have riches, because you get everything that you want. Now think about the people that can't get what they want. Some people want a house, but they have to, but they can't get a house. They have to rent, or they have to sleep outside. But they know the pain, and each day that they wake up, even though it gets harder, but then they know, like, I'm living for a reason. God wakes me up each and every day for a reason, because ain't no way I'm just waking up just to keep on suffering. And I know there's going to probably be a question where it pertains to, like, certain people suffer to the point where they die. Sometimes it's like God places you in a situation for you to grow in that situation instead of you growing in another situation. Because God already can see, like, God literally can see the future, right? He already knows, if I do this for this person, this is what's going to happen. So let's say, for example, God gives Faith a whole bunch of money right now, and Faith, like, knows the taste of poverty and everything. Now she gets a whole bunch of money. Instead of her focusing, still having those principles that she got from the time that she was in poverty, she's instead going to focus more on the money. She's going to focus on the pleasure that money can buy her, instead of walking with God in the process. Like, because you call on God when you're in trouble. You call on God.
Why not thinking He's taking you out of the trouble?
Exactly. Like, why not think about Him when, like, you're in good times? Like, every time when somebody has a problem, God help me. God, please come down and help me. God helps you, and then you just literally forget about Him when everything is good.
You're like,
I think you guys have watched series where rich people, when have you ever seen a rich person be like, oh God, thank you for the money, oh God, thank you for this? But then, like, but when it comes to when there's a problem, oh God, I'm so lost, I do not know what to do. Because do you know why certain people fall from the high horse that they're on? Because God's bringing them back to earth, meaning, like, I'm bringing humanity, compassion, and, like, not even just self-respect, but, like, to show you that, like, you are exactly like the other person. There's no difference. You guys just have a different face. So you have to treat the person the way you want to be treated. In the Bible it says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. It doesn't only mean that you should do good to the person. Like, if you're rich, don't treat a poor person like they're nothing, because at the end of the day you can get to that point.
And they become something, and
they become something, and then they will probably be the one to help you one day. So it's like,
you never know
be careful.
What's gonna happen.
Yeah, be careful how you treat certain people.
You can be up here
and then fall literally down there.
Always be careful with the actions that you take, the words that you say, the things that you do.
Literally.
You know, you can never be too sure what's going to happen.
But I guess,
and stuff like, so just be careful, and yeah, be good to go.
Like, all I can say is, like, the sufferings and troubles that go on in the world that God allows is to open the eyes of human nature. It's to open the eyes to show them that you guys are not in control of anything that goes on. Because if you guys were, if there was not a God, basically anything that happened in this earth would basically destroy us. But for those that every day get to see a new life, that means God is in control of your life. God has the right to wake you up and not wake you up. So, yeah.
The same way mothers say, I brought you into this world and I can take you out. That's God. He brought you in, He can take you out. Not in a bad way though. There's not a threat.
No, it's not a threat.
The way.
But it's basically just facts.
Yeah.
Because as we know, God is like, He can do anything. And while you're ill, so even if you're ill, like, literally God will, like, heal you in minutes. Like, you wouldn't even have to think about it. But then He already knows, like, why He doesn't want to heal you. Certain people, like, God has given them so many chances where they've lived life and given them reasons to, like, hey, come back to me. Do you know why certain people, they lose people in their lives? It's not always because, oh, it's a pain or God is being rude to the person or doing bad towards the person. No, it's a chance to show the person, like, you see the way this person left? I can take everything away from you. But, like, literally, while I'm taking everything away from you, I'm trying to get you right. Like I literally read this in Leviticus. I'm forgetting the chapter where God said, like, to Moses to tell the Israelites that just as I've taken them out of Egypt, I can easily remove everything I've given them. Like I can easily like destroy them like that, and not in a way like He will immediately kill you. No, if you have, let's say you adore your family. If your family is the closest, God can take one by one away from you. If you don't change, God will literally take one by one.
We can consider the story of Job,
where
he was like he had so many riches, and
then his children.
God was like, no, Satan told God that, how sure are you that he's still going to believe in you and have faith in you, even if I do him wrong? And God said, okay,
do what you want,
do what you want, and in the end, he's still gonna come back to you. He lost all his cattle, all his sheep, literally everything, all his children, his wife, his riches. He lost everything. He had nothing. But at the end of the day, he still went to God, and he thanked God for what he had. He prayed to God, although he lost them in the long run. What he got in return was greater than what he lost behind.
What he lost.
I'm not saying that losing your wife or your husband is the right thing, but Job went back to God. He did not give up on God. He did not say, oh God, you did this, you took my kids away, you took my riches away, I'm not going to come back to you. After all that, he still went back willingly, and it wasn't by force. He went willingly to God and said, God, although I have lost this, thank you for life. Thank you for the things that I had before, but I don't have now. And God was like, okay, devil, you have proven your point, but I still win.
He's mine.
He is, the type of stuff. So yeah. Just have to be really careful. Bad things happen for a reason. There's always a reason to why something happens.
Yeah.
Because you never know what blessing or what miracle is going to happen to you after that particular bad thing happens. So it may not be instant, but eventually you will see the goodness of God in your life, in your siblings' life, in your family's life, and it will definitely be for the good, for the better, for everyone.
For the better good. Yeah. And sometimes you guys be thinking like the bad things that happen is because of God. It is really not. Sometimes it's really not, because as the whole earth is Satan's playground. And you know why certain people, like good, you guys always ask why good people leave this earth? Because they're good. They do not belong here. Like literally they do not belong on this earth. Because I'm not saying that we that are on the earth are bad, but think about it. You finally reach to the point where you're following everything God has for you. You abiding by His rules, and you actually following God's path because you want to reach God's kingdom. So if you're trying to reach God's kingdom, God sees like it's time to call my son or daughter back home. Then they obviously have to take. Then He obviously has to take you home. Meaning this is not your home. Earth is our temporary home.
Earth is not my home, guys.
Earth is not.
My Father has a mansion up in heaven, and every room is marked for a specific person. Like, we may not be too sure that, okay, when you die, you go straight to heaven. We don't know that. We don't know whether that person is going to hell or whether that person is going to heaven. It all relies on
your actions and the way you move.
Yes, the things that you did are bad. So if you're bad, you just know automatically that don't do it. But now here's the thing. You do bad, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're on your deathbed. Most of the times, I don't know if you've noticed, like if a pastor comes, they tell you, okay, let's pray, and they pray.
Yeah.
God they say they've given you about 22 minutes to live, and they say, okay, after 2 minutes is done, we're taking your life support and you're going to be gone. That 2 minutes can get you into heaven.
Literally.
And that 2 minutes can get you into heaven without doubt. You pray about it. And
you don't even have to pray a long prayer. You can just say like, God, forgive me.
Everything that I have done, I am your child.
I know your worth now.
You can be born again in that 2 minutes. And trust me, you have a place in heaven. It's not that He's going to say, oh no, you prayed last minute, I don't have a place for you. You prayed last minute. That's what He wants. He wants you to pray.
He wants you to know Him.
Exactly. So if you may not do that when you're younger, but as you get older, you realize that, okay, you know what, I actually need God in my life.
Yeah.
And it's never too late. It is never too late to go to God. It's never too late to pray. It's never too late to say that you want God in your life. It's never too late to be born again. And by born again, we don't mean that you have to go back inside your mother's body to be born again. But be born again in the Word of God. And it's very simple. It's very, very simple. If you do go to church, I'm sure they do bring it up most times. It just takes a simple prayer, baptism, and you are born again.
And a change of ways.
Not that you're born again and you go back
to the club.
You're hindering your born again phase. You're not born again. You just got prayer. So if you do want to be born again, you can. It's not a must. We're not forcing you, but when you feel like you're ready, you can go ahead and do it. Just do it, and you'll be good.
And you'll be good. So, to conclude what Faith said on this question, literally, it takes the smallest. I know sometimes some of you guys get intimidated by the way certain people pray. Like they pray along, they go into their tongues, and
they are fighting.
And it's like they're having a whole. You don't even have to. It's your intimate moment with God.
Exactly.
You don't have to say a whole paragraph. You can just say a couple of few words. Even a one sentence is enough.
And God will hear you. Conversation between you and God. You don't have to say anything out loud. No one has to hear you. You can pray to God. It's a conversation between you and God. The same way you want to have secretive conversations with people. It's the same way you do with God. You just say, okay, you know what? I just want to go to the room and pray a little bit. No one is going to stop you. No one is going to judge you for it. Because some are going to judge you, but hey, you know your morals, you know your values. Go into that room and pray. It doesn't have to be. And mind you, prayer does not have to be 30 minutes, 1 hour. It doesn't have to be long. A simple prayer can take you a really, really long way.
Yeah. A small prayer every day. A small prayer every day.
Take it like
morning
a
and night.
Take it like a dosage. You can do. What stands out for me is if you look at Muslims, right? They're not ashamed of where they pray. Whether it be in the shop, whether it be in the airport, whether it be on the road, they are going to stop and they are going to pray.
But as they see time, they'll be like,
because once you set a time, that's your time to meet with God. The same way you set an appointment, okay, I've got a doctor's appointment at 1, and you rush to it and you make sure at 1 you're there. The same way with God, you make a commitment that, okay, I'm going to pray every day at 6 p.m. Make sure to keep that time because it's your appointment with God.
Yeah.
You break that appointment, you break a lot of things. So never miss that appointment. Be like a Muslim. I'm not saying turn into a Muslim, but be like a Muslim that is not ashamed of their religion. They're not ashamed to pray wherever they are. They pray because they know that their God is a God of wonders. So as Christians, we should do the same. Do not be ashamed to pray. Do not be ashamed to share the word. Do what makes you happy. Don't
let anybody intimidate you.
Don't let anyone intimidate you
about your Christianity.
Christianity is Christianity that you know your morals. Stand your ground. Stand firm. You know what to do. Stick to that.
Especially social media. I know social media be intimidating us a lot. Be like, a Christian has to pray like this. A Christian has to do this. I know some of us turn to social media to teach us how to pray, how to read our Bible, how to fast. But then at some point, it's yours.
Yeah,
it's you. Nobody has to tell you do this because it could be your choice.
Yeah.
So free will again. God gives us free will. Even though we don't get to decide whether we wake up in the morning or not, because that's up to God. But God gives us free will to stick to the path that we choose.
Yeah.
God gives you 2 ways. You either choose the left or you choose the right. It's up to you.
The right. Take the right.
Always take the right.
You're gonna find what I call destiny helpers in your path.
Yeah. I found my destiny helper, guys.
As a Christian, you're always going to need someone to hold you down. You cannot do things on your own. You say that, okay, you know what, I'm strong, but there are things that will hinder you, that will hurt you. The devil will try and throw at you that you can't manage on your own. But if you have someone to support you along the way, you're good to go. So come back for part 2, guys.
Come back for part 2. Probably be filming part 2 soon because my phone is just going. But do not worry. But guys, on question 2, that's what we have. We're going to continue soon.
3 and 4
in the next video or in the next clip. So do watch. But for now, you guys can take a break and go get something to eat. So from me and Faith, we'll see ya.